I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Camp Getaway, episode 3, season 1. We're so happy to talk about this because a lot of drama went down, but I cannot do this all by myself. I'm your host, Sanaa, and I have my lovely co-host with me today. I have my Bravo enthusiast, Zach.
Hey, how is everyone doing tonight?
Good. This episode was really juicy. I can't wait to hear your take on it because I know you're ready to talk about it.
Always.
And I have also my other co-host, Allie. How'd you feel about this episode?
I loved it. This was such a fun episode.
I know. And LaToya as well. How did you feel about this episode?
It was a good episode. It left a lot. It gave us a lot to talk about.
Yes. And your boy Neil is staying for another week. You know he didn't get fired.
I know. He laid low and did well.
Okay, he did that for you, girl. So we definitely have to get into it all. But first, let's talk about Randall came back, and this time she left the boot at home. How'd you guys feel when you saw that? Zach, how'd you feel when you saw Randall return?
I was so happy she returned. I was surprised that she had got the boot off so quick. I really thought that was going to be her story for the whole summer, not having having the boot on. So I'm really glad she got both feet. She's ready to compete. That rhymed.
Oh, okay. You had that prepared, or that's straight off the dome?
No, straight off.
Okay, look at you. They need to hire you at Camp Getaway. What about you, LaToya?
Yeah, I agree. I was like, that's the quickest thing ever. She came back, no boot, ready to go. So I was surprised to see her walking.
And what about you, Allie?
Yes, I agree with everyone. This was a good episode for her. I mean, we got to see her do some of her stand-up, which was funny. We'll get to that, I'm sure. But yeah, I was happy to have her back.
Definitely. So even though Randall did return, we also had a new camper, Gavin, joined the team. What are you guys' overall thoughts of him, LaToya?
I like Gavin. He came in bubbly and energetic and really easygoing. He's just trying to get to know the social coordinators and the way camp runs. And he just seems like a nice guy and fun to be around.
Definitely. And what about you, Allie?
I like him a lot. I thought he was really cute and like you guys said, just really, I was like, we have Adam and Niall's great, but I don't know. I was happy to see some more guys show up to camp. And he was, just really chill. Just you can tell he's just there for a good time, and I don't think he'll bring any of the drama or anything. But we'll see.
We'll see. I think some love is in the air, but we'll save that for predictions. What about you, Zach? How'd you feel overall about Gavin?
I mean, he seemed cool. I don't have too much of an opinion on him yet. I think the biggest opinion I have on this is that Niall was super threatened by Gavin. He was like, a new guy in town. Does this mean I am leaving? So I guess we'll have to see how that kind of plays out. Otherwise, I think Gavin seems pretty cool. Here for it.
Definitely. And this time on the episode, each time it's a new theme. So this one was the gay pride, which was pretty, well, I can't even say it was pretty colorful because it was totally colorful. Yes. And it was so much life in it. So, how did you guys feel about seeing the gay pride parade they had, as well as all the different activities? How'd you like that, Zach?
I loved it. I went to sleepaway camp growing up and there was no gay pride ever. So I thought it was so cool. I was really glad Glen had his weekend where he got to really celebrate. It's a great celebration to have. I'm really glad that they brought that to camp.
What about you, Allie? How did it feel watching everything?
I agree. This episode had me tearing up at parts. Just seeing Glen kind of talk about how his old experience or his past experience at camp where he would get bullied, and now to be able to see him on a parade, on a float, looking amazing. I don't know. It was really an awesome episode.
And what about you, LaToya?
Yeah, I agree. It was a really nice episode. It was a nice thing to see. I think that people should always have a sense of like belonging. And so it was nice that the camp has this weekend every year where people get to come out and like fully be themselves and just enjoy everything that that means. So I thought it was good. And it was nice to see Glenn at home. And he was so excited about the weekend and the people coming and the festivities. So that was nice.
Definitely. And I'm going to need Glenn to let me know where he gets his glitter hookup because look, every time I want some glitter, it gets everywhere for me. But for him, he just has the glitter on lock. So I can't wait to talk to him and hopefully he can give me some advice on the glitter.
Yeah, same.
And speaking of that, all this glitter, all this drama was going down too with Mr. Adam. So I got to know because this man has been doubling back between Randall and Sophie, all back and forth. And it's like, my goodness, can you choose? This is not The Bachelor, okay?
It's not.
It's not. Wrong network, wrong show. Latoya, let me know on how you felt about player Adam during this entire episode.
I mean, Adam was just all over the place. I will say that I appreciated him comforting Randall when she got off the stage because she did not feel good about her performance. And it was nice of him to be there for her. But he took it a little too far. And I just think that it's irresponsible and selfish for him to volley between those two women like that. And it's almost, especially with Randall, I feel like it's pitting Randall kind of against Sophie. Like Sophie takes more of a like, Randall's my friend. I don't want to compete with her. I don't want to hurt her. But I feel like Randall is getting a little jealous and like starting to feel some kind of way towards Sophie. And so I just think he needs to grow up. Like that's not cute. It's not okay. And in the right situation or the wrong situation, it can lead to a lot of trouble.
Okay. And what about you, Zach? How do you feel about this whole like Bachelor player Adam? How do you feel about that?
I mean, my eyes were rolled the entire episode at Adam, and we'll get into his attitude later. But for now, with the whole love triangle, my first issue is that why is he calling Randall possessive and clingy when he's the one going out of his way to flirt with her, to comfort her, to make her feel good? Is she possessive and clingy, or are you possessive and clingy? And second of all, how are you going to flirt with Randall and then 5 feet away flirt with Sophia, and then tell Monica that you like Sophia, but then flirt with Randall in front of Sophia? Pick which girl you like and stop playing games. And why can't they talk? Why aren't Randall and Sophia talking? That's my biggest question.
Okay, nobody better cross you in a relationship, okay?
Yeah.
Because if anybody makes it to where you have to choose, Zach is gonna come for that. Come for you, okay?
I'm just gonna say it how it is. That's it.
Okay. Don't try to play him. He's not the one. What about you, Allie? How'd you feel on this whole situation, the love triangle?
I agree with Latoya and Zach for sure. I mean, as soon as you asked the question, I saw Zach, your eyes literally rolled. You took a drink. I was just ready to hear what you had to say about it. But I totally agree. I think I think people can have a flirty personality. I'm sure we all know people who are like that, and it's okay to be outgoing and friendly, of course. But when you're getting people's emotions involved is when it crosses the line. And I'm honestly wondering if at this point, if I think he's confused by Randall. I think that he thinks Randall is just like they're friends, and he's like kind of friend zoning her a little bit, but she's still confused. I just wish that they could all like three sit down and talk it out, because I think he likes Sophie.
Well, I think he just wants to have a good time with Randall. Like she's just something to do right now. And then he sees like long-term relationship with Sophia. So he's like, let me have my fun with Randall. And then when that's done, I'll be ready for like a real relationship with Sophia. Which is completely insane.
That sounds so bad when you say it. Right.
But
that sounds so bad.
Yeah, he can't do that. But he told Monica that he liked Sophia.
Yeah.
So if you really like Sophia, then why are you still flirting with Randall? And why does Sophia, like, why is she okay with him flirting with Randall? Like, she's not stopping it. She's just kind of watching it from afar.
Well, she's not okay with it. And what I liked about Sophia was that we learned a lot about her this episode, and we learned about like her past relationship and kind of her insecurity. And she said, whenever I feel like there's some level of competition or another woman. Like it takes me back to that place of like me not being good enough. And she's like, I just don't want to deal with it. So I don't necessarily think she's dealing with it in terms of she hasn't said anything to him about it. But as far as we know, Sophia and Adam don't have a relationship and they're not hooking up, at least not beyond like maybe making out, maybe. And so I think she just feels stuck as well as insecure, which makes you even more stuck.
Yeah, because it's kind of like I feel she doesn't want to come off as if like, you're my man and I need you now. Like, I don't think she wants to come off like that because, I mean, they've only been at camp for like so long and they only see each other probably on the weekends, maybe. True. But I think, and she's cool with Randall. Like, that's her girl. And she was saying, you know, I'm kind of friends with her. So I don't want to kind of, you know, step on her toes. But Dr. Monica, Miss Monica, she's not one to play with either because she was telling her, well, don't give up. Like, keep fighting for him. So, Allie, what did you think when you heard Monica give her that advice?
I was so happy because after hearing Sophia kind of explain her past, we all, I'm sure, you know, felt for her. And the way she was kind of saying, oh, but like, you know, he likes Randall or Randall's likes him. You can tell Sophia is a girl's girl and she had Randall's back when, you know, which is great. But also I like that Monica kind of did tell her, it's okay. Like nothing is serious, nothing's set in stone. You're allowed to like express your emotions, put yourself out there. So I loved seeing that moment.
What about you, Zach?
Yeah, so I think that what Sophia said is that her and Adam were talking all week. So I guess if they're talking a lot and texting a lot, it's kind of like implied that they're like gonna hang out more at camp on the weekends. But then when Adam kind of hangs out with Randall, like he gives her the attention, then the lines are blurred. I really liked Monica, like psychologist Monica, like she needs to give her friend a little bit of advice because Sophia's struggling. And I feel bad for Sophia, but I also feel like she's just like picking the wrong guy.
Yeah,
yes.
that I feel that. You know, I felt that from my core because he's putting her through, because he's really putting her through the ringer and he's doing it in her face. And I think that's the part that gets me every time. I'm like,
I know.
You just flirt in her face and just keep it going as if, oh, like, what'd you eat for breakfast? And she's just supposed to go along with it. What are your thoughts, LaToya?
Well, first I want to say better in my face than behind my back. Like I want to know what I'm dealing with, so it's better that I get to see it than like be wondering about it. And Zach, you said this earlier about Adam saying that Randall is possessive. I don't know about possessive, but she's definitely aggressive, right? Like she's on him and she's like, are you going to sleep with me? Are you going to do this? Like she has her eyes locked on him and she searches for him in crowds. But I do think it's up to Adam to like put her in her place and say, maybe, you know, you should calm down, or like, maybe I like Sophia. He should do something, but he's not. He's just letting it happen.
Because he likes it. You guys remember we talked about last episode how he said he's a 5 back home, but like
a 9 at camp. A
9 at camp. You know, this is his time to live. Like he's eating this up, guys. Okay. He's kind of like, he reminds me of you guys already know kind of like when you like a guy and he probably isn't your type, but you still give him a chance anyway. And you know, he probably doesn't physically look that good to you, but you give him a chance. And then he tries to treat you as if you are the one who's just a rock in the playground and you're the piece of gold. I don't know.
I mean, Adam is single. The thing is, in Devil's Advocate, Adam is single. The only issue is that he's flirting with 2 friends who all work in the same place. So that's just not smart. And that's all I have to say.
Next relationship any of us get into, we have to bring Zach along so that he can call it like it is to the person's face.
He is great at relationship advice. I can say that.
Thank you. There's no shortage of sass on this panel from any of us.
Okay, you're gonna get it all. And we have a little surprise for you guys, for you viewers. We couldn't go with this episode without bringing the one and only, the one who knows about the glitter the most. Ooh, Glen. We have Glen with us tonight. We're so excited because he's gonna let us in on what really went down during the episode, so we don't have to all speculate. So, with all ado, hi, Glen. How are you?
Hi, I'm so good. How are you guys?
We're doing great. No glitter today?
No glitter today. I know.
You've got to do a tutorial on how to do glitter because for me, it gets everywhere and then I look like a hot mess pinata. So you got to let us know on how to do this glitter.
For sure. I think honestly, the best advice is just like, you got to embrace the fact that it's going to get everywhere and just sort of like, you know what? I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that.
That's great advice.
Definitely. I'm going to use that next time. And I'm going to shout you out on Instagram because you're the one who put me on game.
Please do. I can't wait.
We're talking all about the episode because this was so juicy. And why not get it from the one and only person, Camper, who was there? So let us know on how was the Gay Pride Parade and the festivities. Let us know, how fun was it?
Oh my God. Okay, so like, I have to like fill you guys in. I was super nervous in the beginning of the weekend. So I had talked to Claire about taking on more responsibilities that weekend. And, the weekend before and the start of that weekend, everyone was like, Glen, this is your weekend. And, I wanted to make it amazing. I wanted to make sure that people had an amazing time. And I put a lot of pressure on myself to do that. And so the whole first day, I was like, am I doing enough? Am I doing the best? Like, are people having the best time they possibly can? Honestly, it was too much. I was putting too much pressure on myself. And it wasn't until the Pride Parade that I like settled in and I was like, you know what? Like, what I'm doing is enough. Me being here is enough. Me being myself is enough. That's what people come for. That's what people want. Me being my authentic self is allowing people to have permission to do it themselves. And I feel like at camp, I'm like everyone's personal cheerleader. And I got to do that literally on the back of a truck waving the flag.
Yeah.
Also,
Glen, you did do enough.
Any rainbow attire you see on a straight person was given to them by me. Let's be real. Like, let's anyone that had a fan, it was mine. You're welcome. I costumed half of the cast. It was amazing. But like, that was the moment I was like, you know what? Like, I just relaxed and it was like a little mini Pride Parade. It was amazing. So yeah, that was one of the highlights of the weekend.
You did a really good job, I think. And when you said during the episode, you're like, if the kid in me could only like see this right now or whatever it was, how like it means so much to like bring pride to camp. Like that really resonated with me. Like I grew up going to camp and like there was no Pride Parade. So I like really loved seeing you tonight. And like, I feel like you doing that on the show, like you did it for all of us gay kids who went to camp watching. Like there was no pride when I was going to camp as a kid. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I when I started this show, one of my goals on it was I wanted to live so authentically that some little gay kid in Missouri or wherever is watching with his mom and saying, wow, like I see myself in him. I feel permission to be myself. Like that's always been my goal on the show. And then obviously like, with the guests too, like if I can live authentically, it allows them to do so. It allows them to be more free. And that's what I'm there for. So I'm so glad that you guys felt that and you saw that because that's what I'm there for.
Yeah, that's lovely just to hear, especially because, and I see your nails, okay? You mentioned your nails were done during quarantine. Quarantine wasn't stopping anything, okay?
I've got a lot of time in quarantine. I got to do something.
You literally learn how to do everything. So also during the episode, it was a lot of juiciness that went down and we want to know from you, since you were there, what were your thoughts on the whole Adam showing up late? Like, how is he as a mentor as he's supposed to be, or just working with him? How is it working with Adam?
So yeah, like you said, mentoring air quotes. There was a point in the weekend, like in the first weekend, like I remember Neely and I were like asking him a question and he didn't know the answer. And I was like, haven't you worked here before? Like, didn't you know this? So eventually we were just like, you know what? Like, we're not going to rely on him. If we have a question, we'll ask Monica or we'll figure it out ourselves. So, and the thing is like, Adam showing up late didn't affect me. So I was like, if he wants to be late, like fine. It doesn't affect my job.
If anything, it makes you look better. You were on time, you were early, you were setting up.
Exactly. So. Yeah. That was the thing. I was like, this is my weekend. Like, and actually, I wanted to like give back to my other counselors because like I'd already felt such a deep connection to them even in the first 2 weekends. So I wanted this to be like, hey guys, like this is my way of thanking you. Like here, I'm gonna decorate our cabin. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna have a mini pride, and I had fun doing that for them.
That's awesome. And everyone got a chance to, step into your world too. And everyone got to learn. And matter of fact, once, later on, I need to know where this fan came. It said extra. I'm like, that's me. That's me.
I need that fan. Yeah, I have a lot of fans. I need that one.
And it was pink.
We should have gotten fans for the show.
Yes, I thought about.
We should have.
Getaway fan.
Yes. Okay, I have a question. Yes. Oh my goodness. Okay, I have to know, was Randall's stand-up, did they edit it to make it feel like awkward and like it was bad, or was it actually like in person, was it pretty good? Like, I just want to know what it was like from your perspective.
Yeah, so here's the deal. Let me set up the scene for you. So we've just done a costume contest. So everyone's like excited, they're rowdy. And, part of it is like, they get the audience involved and they cheer and whatever. So like, they're still rowdy, they're not focused. And then Christine's like, and now Randall's gonna do stand-up. And the energy just wasn't right. Like, when you go to a comedy show, there's literally someone whose job it is to warm up the crowd.
Yeah.
And so like there was a group in the back that were still talking. And so I think she was just really like, she was very thrown off by the audience not being receptive. And I don't think it was as bad as the show made it out to be.
Okay.
Now, to be fair, like it was a really hard circumstance. This was not her best show. Like we saw her earlier and like she was throwing jokes out. She was super comfortable and she had great jokes. So like, I'll be honest, this was not her best work, but I think she was working under really hard circumstances.
Definitely.
That makes sense.
Comedy is not, it's not easy. And I know if I was there, I probably would have been laughing because I laugh at a lot of stuff at comedy shows. So I probably would have been just sitting up there laughing for her.
Yeah. And Glen, how did you find out about Camp Getaway and what made you want to get involved with the camp?
Yeah, so I found out about it through a friend, and after a couple auditions, they were talking about like what the show was and kind of what our roles would be. And when they said that I would be a camp counselor in an adult summer camp, I was like, I was born to do that. Like that's so me. And the truth was like, I wanted something different. I wanted to like get out of the city. I wanted to change. Like I talk about in this past episode, my father passed away in January, and I needed just some time to like get out of my head to, do something in service of other people, of helping them get out of their heads, and the process kind of get out of my head. Just do something different. Just, do something crazy. Something I've never done before.
Oh, that's good. And what do you do in your normal life for work?
Yeah, so I am a personal trainer, tour guide. I'm a go-go dancer, and I'm a shirtless bartender for bachelorette parties.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
amazing.
You have a fun life now.
Yeah, right? I mean, none of those jobs I'm doing now.
Right.
Yeah.
Although I'm
Fair.
doing remote training now, so like I train people over Zoom, which is such a weird experience, but
Yeah.
it still works. It's still motivating people. It's still getting people to move, under quarantine. So yeah.
Wow.
That's
I
good.
totally understand that trainer on Zoom. I have a trainer through Zoom, and it's like, it gives you a little break because, you can breathe and stuff. Because once it goes back to being in person, you guys are going to whoop our butts when it comes
Oh yeah.
to working out
Oh
again.
yeah. Oh, I can't wait. I miss the gym so much. Oh, I miss it.
Oh,
Babe.
I cannot relate.
And what would you say? What would you say is something that we didn't get to see during the episode that you wish viewers probably would have seen, or that you thought was just so breathtaking, or anything like that? What's something that we didn't get to see?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things that's tough, it's 3 days, like condensed into 40 minutes. So it's so hard to fit everything in. I think one thing that I wish you guys could have seen is the stories of some of the guests. So one in particular, Dolores, the drag queen. So at the time of filming, Dolores identified as a gay man who occasionally did drag. And she started drag because her friend was a drag queen who died of AIDS. And so she became a drag queen, Dolores Dégagé. She was a ballet teacher, and dégagé is a ballet term. And so she became a drag queen to kind of like take on the mantle of her fallen friend. And on this weekend, she decided to go as Dolores for the whole weekend. So for the first time, she was identifying as Dolores Dégagé for an extended period of time. And at the end of the weekend, I've talked to her after the weekend, and she says that like the sigh of relief that she felt getting to be Dolores for the entire weekend was just indescribable. And so she has legally changed her name to Dolores Dégagé and now identifies as a woman. She is Dolores Dégagé full time. And part of that is because she was given permission to be her authentic self all weekend. And I had a lot of conversations with her during the weekend, and talking about what it meant to have a queer safe space like that, and how rare that is, how important it is. And I wish we could have seen more of that in the episode. Now, one thing I want to start doing an interview show on my Instagram. So I'm actually going to interview Dolores on Friday. So if you guys want to hear the full story of Dolores, her history, her story, all that, I would love for you guys to come check out my Instagram. I'm going to do an Instagram live with her on Friday. But there was just so many incredible people. I actually had some of my friends on the show. So if you guys watched the costume contest, the drag queen that won, Glow Job, that's a friend of mine from New York City.
Oh, wow.
I invited her. It was amazing. So Glow Job, Zach, his name's Zach Job, and his drag name is Glow Job. So he had just quit his 9-to-5 to pursue drag full time.
Wow.
And so he was super nervous, wasn't sure he was going to make it. And I invited him this weekend. And so it's this place where you get to just like hang out and be yourself and do whatever you want. And just the freedom that he got to feel that weekend was amazing. Also in the weekend, the guy the person who they said was Black Jesus.
Yeah.
That's my friend Darius.
Oh, wow. Come on, Darius.
Right? All of of course, my friends are the fiercest. Obviously. And Darius is non-binary. And they were nervous about being on the show because they haven't come out, or at the time, they hadn't come out to their father yet as non-binary. So I also had a friend who is a trans model. I had a lesbian singer-songwriter friend that was on the show. So all these incredible stories that we didn't get to hear. And of course, there's so many stories in so little time. But I wish we could have delved a little bit more into their stories a little bit.
And the show seems to be more focused on the staffers than
exactly. Yeah.
And maybe because the guests change every weekend, so it's hard to really delve into them.
Exactly. I think it's definitely taking a lot of cues from Below Deck, where you see new guests every weekend, but you don't really get a sense of who they are as much as who the crew are every weekend.
Right.
You brought all the heavy hitters, okay? You said, look, we're gonna win, okay? During the whole field day part, everything. You're like, look, oh, you guys wanna play? I'm gonna bring the pros to play, okay?
Yeah. I'm gonna bring all my fierce ass friends. We may not win, but we're gonna look the best doing it. Come on now.
It was a little rigged. We'll just go with that. It was a little rigged. Okay, you guys are
because Monica was cheating. You heard it here first.
Monica was cheating. We'll make sure to let her know if she comes on the show too. We'll get her insights on that too.
Well, she's gonna lie to you. Don't believe anything she says. Don't believe her. She'll use her therapist tricks on you.
Oh, and speaking of Monica using her therapy skills, I feel she probably does she give good advice, when you guys do get to talk to her? Does she give good advice? I know she was giving Neely some advice too during the episode.
Yeah, so I feel like she gives good advice. I think what can happen sometimes is Monica can come across as a bit harsh. She's very blunt. And so when she's talking to you, she's genuinely curious. She's a genuinely curious person. And so she will ask, keep on asking, keep going deeper. And you may not be ready to go as deep as she wants to go, but she's going to keep on going. And so sometimes she can come across as a little bit harsh, a little bit cold, a little clinical. But I always appreciated her advice. And actually, I took some of her advice over the summer.
What advice did she give you?
We'll see that come to a head in this next episode.
What the advice that she gave you? It'll come next episode.
Oh, not mine, but she gives a lot of unsolicited advice, and so we'll see that in the next episode.
Oh, juicy! And before we go, we do have to talk about our news and gossip segment.
AfterBuzz
Adam,
TV
he really showed out, this episode. He even said he told Claire, which I'm surprised he even said this to her, that she doesn't sign his checks. And if he wants to get fired or, if they fire him, that's not his problem. So let's talk about the news and gossip. Zach, take it away on what Adam has going on.
So, Adam put on Twitter last night, he said, #real talk, Randall was right to think I was leading her on. What they didn't show is that I did sleep in her bed that weekend. So that's what he put on Twitter. So I'm kind of confused because we saw on the episode that it looked like he went back to hook up with Sophia. So maybe Glenn, you were there, you can tell us, did he end up hooking up with Randall one night and Sophia the next night? And you guys sleep in a bunk. So how are you guys able to hook up?
Yeah. So so there's 4 of us per room. So what he's talking about, there was one night where he was full on cuddling with Randall. I think she mentioned in the show, she's like, "You're gonna come and get in bed with me? You're gonna come cuddle?" Full on spooning. I don't think they slept that way, but I think it was it was pretty intimate. It was pretty intense. I honestly don't know if him and Sophia ever hooked up, because I wasn't in their room when they did that. They full on were sleeping. They would push the beds together and sleep together. I don't know if they ever hooked up.
Wait, are we talking about Sophia or Randall or both?
Oh, sorry, Sophia.
Okay.
I know he never hooked up with Randall. I don't know if he hooked up with Sophia. I doubt it, because there was also cameras in our room. So I doubt they would. I think they were sleeping together for sure. Definitely some makeout sessions, but I don't think they had full on sex.
And who do you think Adam should go for at this point in the show, episode 3? Do you think he should be, going for Sophia or going for Randall? And then why haven't Sophia and Randall talked yet? Are we going to maybe see them talk about it next episode?
So at this point in the show, or in the weekends, I think he needs to he needs to be honest with Randall. He needs to stick with Sophia because clearly that's where his interests are. He's been very clear that like, or at least he's been clear with other people that he's more interested in Sophia, but he has not been clear with Randall. He needs to tell Randall what he really feels, that he's just a friend. He's just like kind of flirty, and tell Sophia how he really feels. Because Sophia doesn't know. Randall thinks he's more interested than he is. So and so I don't know why they never talked. I think it's something you probably should ask of Sophia or Randall. Honestly, like Sophia and Adam's relation or connection came out of nowhere. Like I think a lot of it developed. Yeah. I think a lot of it developed in between the weekends. So like, Sophia mentions at the beginning of the episode that she knows exactly where he's coming from. And that's because they were talking a lot in between the weekend. So I think they like built their connection texting every day or something. And so we didn't even see it. Like when I found out that he was interested in Sophia, I was like, what?
That's how we were too. Because like we barely saw Sophia say anything the first couple episodes. And then this episode, she just kind of like hits us with like, Adam. And it just really came out of nowhere. I mean,
she came through with a bang.
Yeah, exactly.
Really
when she's gonna make her entrance, she's gonna make an entrance.
Okay, and she is not playing, and she's gonna bring that pink extra fan too. She's gonna make sure she brings that too, because it was crazy. Even in the club scene, or the camp getaway club, the bar. It was kind of like he was bouncing around, and then it was like a Sophia, then it was kind of like Randall. So was it kind of them bouncing back from each other a lot within the bar too?
I mean, I'll be honest, like I never saw him with Sophia until he was like, oh yeah, I really like Sophia. I heard it more from other people than I did actually seeing it. I think also because I was like busy, like especially this weekend, my focus was elsewhere. So
you said I mind my business.
I was not focusing on the straight people. So
never.
I did not see any of this happening.
You said I mind my business. Okay.
It did make me a little sad when Sophia said that Adam was out of her league. I was like, wait, are we talking about the same guy?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm a little confused. So
yeah. No, she's so wonderful. I think that her last what happened with her last relationship has like really hurt her confidence, and thus like why she would say that.
Yeah.
Totally understandable. And we want to thank you so very much for joining us on this episode. We really, really do appreciate it, and we love it. And thank you guys for viewing us and making us the ESPN of TV Talk, because without you, we could not do it. Before we close out though, make sure you guys subscribe, also like, and give us your thoughts in the comments, because we do love to read them as well. And so you can know when we're back live again. Before we go though, let's know everyone's predictions. What do you guys think is going to happen next episode? Zach, what do you think is going to happen?
I mean, I think Sophia and Adam are probably going to hook up. I think everyone's going to know about it. I think Adam's going to have some type of confrontation or talk with Randall. And I mean, I don't know who's going to get in trouble next week. I mean, every week someone new is getting in trouble. So, I mean, and also Adam isn't coming back to camp next week. Didn't we see that? How David hired him? Okay. So then maybe Sophia and Randall should use this time to kind of talk, maybe compare some notes. Maybe just like get some information so that when he does come back, they can, either one of them can pursue him or they can both, move on.
What about you, LaToya? What do you think is going to happen?
So just based on the preview that we got to see for next week's episode, I agree with Zach. I do think that Randall and Sophia are going to have a chance to talk. I think we saw a little bit of Randall asking Sophia, so what is the deal between the two of you? So that'll be interesting to see what that conversation is. As well as I want to point out that Adam told Randall that she was only worth an appetizer, but he told Sophia that he would take her to dinner. So there's already a distinction. And I want to see more of Gavin. And I'm ready to see what happens with Monica. As a lawyer, I'm a lawyer. I feel like I can kind of identify with Monica. Like when you have a super serious profession and it's your job to like analyze and make judgments, I feel like that's just kind of who you are. So I'm wondering how much of Monica is her job and like what she does, and then how much of it is she maybe just has an overbearing personality. So I'm interested to see more of Monica too.
And what about you, Allie? What do you think's gonna happen?
Yeah, I agree with all of those. I definitely want to see more of Gavin. I want to see some drama. Like I want to see some tension. Like I feel it coming. I don't know who it's going to be between maybe Monica and Neely. But yeah, I'm just ready for that, and also ready for the girls to talk it out. And I'm excited that. Sorry, Adam, but I'm excited that we're going to get a weekend away from you.
I mean, he doesn't need the money, right? He doesn't need the money.
Yeah, he has a
We're
9
not
to
paying his
5,
bills.
baby.
Yeah.
He said he has a 9 to 5, and he's not worried. Okay,
He's not
so
worried. He's not
I
gonna
need
sweat
me.
it.
I think I do agree that Sophia and Randall will talk, but I don't think you guys peeped, I think Gavin and Sophia, I think they're going to grow a friendship, or something's going to happen with those two. If anything, I think they're going to become friends, and she's going to start to learn more about herself and everything. I think he's going to be a good influence on her. So I'm excited to see that. Glenn, what do you think's gonna happen next episode?
Well, I think Glenn's gonna have a lot of fun. He's gonna be really cool. He's gonna inspire people.
Yes.
And there's gonna be so next weekend is singles weekend.
Oh,
So that's
leave Adam at home.
And yeah, right. Adam's gone.
Yeah.
Everybody else, so it's singles weekend. We're gonna see how that plays out for everyone.
Is everyone in the group single right as of now? Except Niall.
Except everyone except for Niall. Yeah.
But we'll have to
Interesting.
see.
We're gonna have to see on that one. And in the meantime, how can people stay in tune with everyone with social media? Let us know. Latoya, where can people find you?
I'm on Instagram at Latoya.Blakely, Twitter at Blakely Latoya, and I'm also covering an after show for AfterBuzz for Defending Jacob on Fridays at 5:00.
Oh, okay. We gotta tune in to see you. And what about you, Allie? Where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Alexandra Janes. And I'm also hosting an after show for the new Netflix series White Lines, which I'm doing right after this one. So just hop on over. But yeah, that's where you can find me.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to hop on over because that show is good.
It's good. It's so good.
Oh my gosh. If you guys like Money Heist, the director from Money Heist, he worked with White Lines, so you guys might like that too. You would think I was on the panel. Zach, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Zach Weinberg, Twitter at @ZacharyBish. And if you want to dance with me, come to my TikTok at Zachary Weinberg. We can dance, do some impersonations. Just, follow me on the talk.
And what about you, Glenn? Where can people get in touch with you?
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram at NorthGG. Twitter, I'm Glenn-North. And on TikTok, I'm just getting started, but I'm Glitter Glenn.
Oh, I love that. You got to do some TikTok with a whole bunch of glitter. I'm there.
Trust.
Here for it.
I'm Sanaa Moore, and you guys can follow me on Instagram at IAM_SANA_ and on Twitter at IAM_Sanaa. And it's been a pleasure with you guys. We'll see you next week, same day, same time, same Taco Tuesday. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.
Bye. Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Our
guys.
founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.